In this problem, it says that a right triangle has an area of 44 square inches. The square of the hypotenuse is 185, and we want to find the lengths of the legs of the triangle. I've drawn my triangle. We have a right angle in the corner here, and I've labeled the sides A and B, and the hypotenuse is the square root of 185 because they told me that the square is 185. So I'm going to get two equations for my two unknowns, and my first equation is going to involve the area of the triangle. I know that the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height, so that's 1/2 AB. And let's see, that's 44 square inches. And I'll multiply both sides by 2 to simplify this a little, so I have AB equals 88. And my second equation is going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So I have A squared plus B squared equals C squared, which is the 185. So now I can use these two equations in order to find A and B. So I'll start by solving the first equation for either A or B. It doesn't really matter which. So I'll just say B is equal to 88 over A. And then I'll substitute that into the second equation. So I have A squared plus 88 over A, quantity squared, equals 185. Okay, so I've got my equation A squared plus 88 over A, quantity squared, equals 185. And then A squared plus 7,744 over A squared equals 185. And I can multiply both sides of the equation by A squared to get that A squared out of the denominator. So now I have A to the fourth plus 7,744 equals 185 A squared. And so I'll solve this as a quadratic type equation. I'll bring that 185 A squared over to the left side by subtracting it from both sides, and I have A to the fourth minus 185 A squared plus 7,744 equals 0. If I use the quadratic formula, then I have A squared equals negative B, which is the opposite of negative 185, plus or minus the square root of that negative 185 squared minus 4 times 1 times 7,744, and that's all over 2 times 1. So when I calculate this, I will get 185 plus or minus 57 over 2. So then I'll get two solutions, which are 121 and 64. And remember, those are the values for A squared. So that tells me that A must be either equal to 11 or 8. And I'm not using plus or minus because these are the sides of a triangle, so it has to be positive. And if A is 11, then we get 8 for B. And if I plug in 8 for A, then I would get 11 for B. So we have the sides are 8 and 11, and it doesn't really matter which one is A and which one is B. So that's my final answer.